Alright, quick thing. People think machine learning is some big scary thing. It's really not. We are literally just gonna take a dataset, plot it, train a simple model, and see if it works. No fancy stuff, no overthinking. Just a clean beginner project. If you wanna code along with me, there is a link in the description. You can just open it and start from there. Let's just start. I'll explain things as we go. Alright, first things first. Import pandas for working with the data. Matplotlib for plotting. These two are just downloading the dataset automatically, so you don't have to upload anything manually. And scikit-learn is where model lives. That's nothing scary here. Cool, done. Here we define dataset URL and file name and the file name. If the file doesn't exist already, we download it. Then we read the CSV into a pandas data frame, and it just shows the first few rows. Here we are just checking the size of the dataset. This tells us how many rows and columns we have. Then we list the column names to see what features are available. Now we are checking how many samples we have for each species. This helps us see whether the dataset is balanced. We are just plotting a simple bar chart to visualize the counts. Here we are looking at the distribution of each feature. This helps us understanding the range and spread of values. We are just plotting simple histograms for each measurement. Here we are plotting petal length against petal width. Each color represents the different species. This helps us see whether the species separate clearly based on these two features. Here we separate features and the target X contains all numeric measurements, Y contains the species we want to predict. This just shows first few rows of the features. Here we split the data into training and testing sets. This model learns from the training data. We use test data only to evaluate performance. This helps us see how the model would perform on new data. Here we create a logistic regression model. Then we train it using training data. At this point, the model is learning patterns from the features. Here we use a trained model to make predictions on the test data. Then we calculate the accuracy. This tells us how many predictions were correct out of total. Accuracy gives us one number, but this shows more detail. Here we visualizing the confusing matrix. It shows us the model name. It shows where the model made correct predictions and where it made mistakes for each class. So that's the full project. We started with the data, visualized it, trained a model, and evaluated the results. This is a simple example, but it shows the complex machine learning workflow. If you coded along, you now have a working model. You can try changing features, models, or parameters to explore more. That's it for this one. Like, share, subscribe. See you in the next one.